We are now just 10 months away from the official release of Star Wars Episode 9 by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing in this movie, I gotta say, is of course exactly what they will be doing with the characters of Kylo Ren, Rey, and yes, even the Jedi Master himself, Luke Skywalker, that will be portrayed by Mark Hamill once more. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with some of the plot elements in the movie that has all to do with Rey, Luke Skywalker, the First Order, and even the Resistance. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing is that it's described that the MacGuffin in the film is going to be controversial to the fans and that it's something that both sides are searching for. It's said that this is something hardcore fans will immediately recognize in the film. So let me stop right here for a second in case you guys don't know what a MacGuffin is. It's basically a plot device that moves the story forward. Great example is, if you look at Luke's lightsaber in The Force Awakens, that was the MacGuffin of Episode 7. So now in Episode 9, the MacGuffin is going to be a controversial piece in this movie, and it is going to cater to the hardcore fans. So is it an object? Is it a person? We're not quite sure. That's a big question open on the table for discussion. Now, the next thing that I do want to go over is that it's said, alright, that Mark Hamill recorded lines of dialogue for parts of the film where he will not be seen on screen and will be used only as a Force ghost heard by Kylo and Rey. So this brings us way back to Star Wars A New Hope, and of course in other Star Wars movies as well, where you hear the Force ghost voice, right? If you actually go into A New Hope, you have, the whole entire Obi-Wan line of dialogue reaching out to Luke Skywalker during the trench run. It was an iconic piece, and they will be using that element from A New Hope in, of course, Episode 9 for the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren, where they will be hearing the voices of course, Luke Skywalker through, of course, actor Mark Hamill. So this is where things begin to get very interesting for sure, is that it's described that JJ's approach to Episode 9 is to get a young audience familiar with the legacy characters such as Luke, Leia, Lando, and more, and it's said that Luke's legacy and legends of the character will play a big role in the first act of the film that will inspire the galaxy to fight the First Order. So you can really see how ambitious JJ really is with this movie. He's using this film also as a way to get young fans, new Star Wars fans if you will, familiar with the legacy characters in order to go back and watch the originals. So you can already see how he wants to really take special care in these legacy characters and spend a lot of time on them, such as Luke, Leia, Lando, and others in this film. And honestly, I think that's a very respectful thing to do, because after all, it is the Skywalker saga, and when you look at the Skywalker saga, right, you always think about Luke, Leia, Lando, all the original characters in the original trilogy that was started by George Lucas himself back in 1977. So the next thing I do want to go over that really does get me very excited about all of this has all to do with Star Wars Legends material, is that it's described that ships from Legends will make an appearance, including Disney's version of TIE Defenders and TIE Reapers, that will take over the standard TIE in the third act of the movie. Lastly, it's described that Rey in the film holds many similarities of young Luke from the original trilogy in the second act. So I don't know if you guys ever saw the TIE Defender, but it definitely does add up to what we've been talking about for a couple of months now, of how some of these TIE fighters are going to have multiple wings on all sides of the actual ship. If you guys go ahead and look at a TIE Defender, it basically has like, I think 3 to 4 wings on it, and it's going to be a deadly TIE fighter in this movie, as well as the TIE Reaper, which kind of emulates a TIE Striker that we saw in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the TIE Striker is loosely based off of the TIE Reaper. So you can really see what JJ's trying to do. He's trying to really dig into Star Wars Legends material and implement that into Episode 9 in order to make this film feel very unique. And the other thing, the last thing, is that Rey is going to have many different elements of young Luke from the original trilogy in the second act of Episode 9, and this really does raise a lot of questions. Exactly what does this mean? Well, I believe it's safe to say that one of those aspects is that she will be traveling with R2-D2, and that R2-D2 is going to be her own personal droid in this movie, because she does have a lot of scenes with him in this film where BB-8 is going to stick with Finn, Poe, Rose, and other characters. So you can really see where JJ is trying to go with this film. He's trying to do something great for the character of Luke, and of course the controversial MacGuffin. We're not quite sure what that's going to be. I think that's the thing that really does interest me the most, and also worries me at the same exact time, because it's going to be a controversial subject in the movie. So like I said, we're not quite sure if that's an object, or a person, or a thing, or a place. We're not quite sure. Whatever it is, it's said to be something that's going to cause, a lot of back and forth between fans within episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.